Hey, what is up, guys? Joseph here, and today is going to be a little bit different from my regular videos. It's going to be the first video of a new series I'm debuting with my friend Noah from No Hisan. Uh,
Hello, thanks
but
for
we're
having
going to be doing a new series called What's Better, and the point of this series, is
me.
taking one show or a movie and putting it against another show or movie of a similar uh, status and just debating which one we think is superior. And
Both
this
shows are AMC original.
what
Shows are AMC original.
I wouldn't call Walking Dead original. Well, Ames, I don't know, but
It's
as
like both on the same network, so I saw that as relevancy to each other. Plus, people compare them all the time on the internet.
yeah, but as you can tell by the title of this video and what me and Noah are talking about is going to be Breaking Bad versus The Walking Dead, and
Ooh,
you can pretty much tell who's going for what show.
I thought you say you're gonna pretty much tell who's going to win this guy. How
I don't know.
how are we gonna determine who wins? Is there a winning
I think
champ?
we'll let the people decide. People who watch this
Okay,
see
so the
who.
comments will decide if
Yeah,
someone comments.
yeah. If anybody
Okay,
comments.
we'll tell you what. Anyone, the first person who comments, and it can't be me, Darius, or
Or me.
Joseph. If it's someone not us, and you comment which person won, that will be the winner. So you, the
Okay.
people, it's a democracy, but everyone knows truthfully that my argument is going to win.
It's always you.
All
Go ahead and
right,
make your little opening case.
all
It's gonna be
right.
like a
So
lawyer case. It's gonna be like a court case.
there's a lawyer in this show, a magical show called Breaking Bad that aired on AMC in 2008. I don't know the specifics, but I do know it was 2008. It brought us a great show about a man named Walter White, who is a science teacher who learns that he has cancer. Uh, where he has cancer, I do not know, but I just know he has the cancers. So basically, his
And hang on,
brother.
hang on. No, sorry to interrupt, but are we gonna do spoilers in this little thing or what?
Yeah,
Okay. So spoiler alert for the both of these shows. If you haven't seen it, there's gonna be spoilers. So sorry to interrupt, but continue.
fine. So basically, Walter is a science teacher. He has cancer, and his brother-in-law is a DEA agent, which they get drugs. They bust people with drugs, basically, or whatever. Uh, Trying to get my brain wrapped around. Anyway, they take him on a trip. Not really a trip, but like, what are those things called? Where they take the kids with the police officers?
Scared Straight program.
No, like like you can see them like they bring a kid to see what they do on the job.
Bring your kid to work day.
No,
Like
just don't know.
what are you
Anyway,
talking
they
about?
do that, and a ride along. Or, yeah, it's like a ride along, basically.
Oh,
And so there, they bust people with drugs, and the character called Jesse Pinkman climbs out of the top window and falls and runs away. And Walter recognizes this guy. It happens to be a student that uh, used to be one of Walter's students back in the day. I don't know how long ago, but anyway, yeah, he decides to make meth because he's a really smart scientist, and he can make the purest, nicest, freshest, spiciest meth you could buy on the market. and he makes a lot of money, and he uses his money for his family. So when he dies, his family will have all of this money. Are you yawning at my synopsis of Breaking Bad?
No.
Anyway, he runs into a whole host of villains, I guess you could say. Gus probably being the most notable one, the coolest to me. I'm not getting well. I don't want to get like super deep into detail. Uh, do you want me to tell you what happens at the end?
At the end of what? The first season of the series?
Series.
No,
Okay.
because I'm still only in the
That'd be hard.
second season, third season.
Anyway, it's a great show. I'm
So.
sure you've heard that it's a great show. If you already watched it, you pretty much know what goes on in Breaking Bad. But I have such great appreciation for the show because it just, for me personally, it got me the first episode. Like I binge watched that show when I first watched it, like full 2 seasons or 3 seasons within a week, and then like I kind of got off of it. But yeah, it's a great show because I mean, well, I have pretty much a list here that I'll probably read off to you, but not like word for word. They just have like it has a bunch of great characters that you can care about. I mean, most of the characters in the show are pretty like they're like bad people. Like there's not one single except maybe Marie, which is Hank's wife, but she's so annoying. Like I don't see anyone who would root for her. She's just really annoying and
I wouldn't
but yeah,
classify
most
her as good.
Hank's probably the best. I would kind of consider Hank as sort of the hero, even though Walter is the protagonist. Hank's kind of like the hero because Walter's not really a hero. He's more of an anti-hero, or not at all. He's just a character that you follow. The protagonist. The protagonist can be an evil guy. It doesn't have to be a great guy, which I think was cool about this show. It kind of goes against the norm. And even though they show Walter as like this super badass dude, like a lot of his flaws are shown. It is shown that he's still human like us. That's kind of how we can relate to him. But like he screws up more than anyone in the show, honestly. Like there's a bunch of screw ups. He's a very smart guy, but he could be very stupid sometimes. Uh, and the cool thing about this show is you kind of root for different characters depending on the episode. Like one episode you could be rooting for Jesse, one for Walter, one for Skyler. Hardly. uh, Walter Jr. is just there. You don't really root for him. He's just there to eat breakfast. But yeah, it just fluctuates, and I think that's really cool that it seems like they don't want you to root for just one character. It it's different each episode, I think. Um, and another thing I like about this is it kind of builds up like a game. Like Walter meets a conflict, the boss, I guess you could say, and he defeats them, and they get harder with each boss. So it's kind of like he's leveling up. I know that's like a stupid way of saying that, but he's like leveling up. He's constantly improving throughout the show, getting I wouldn't say smarter, but better in his ways. Not morally, but you see what I mean when you watch it. Uh, and I think the best thing probably is they can tell you a story, or they can tell you like with undertones or different. Stop yawning. With different. They don't have to tell you what's going on. They could show you within the scene, and the cinematography. It just expertly tells a story, and it doesn't have to force feed it to you. You just kind of get it, and it's so cool to watch these characters change so drastically. Well, it's more of a gradual change, but if you look at the series as a whole, I think it only has like 6 or 7 seasons. Like the characters change like
I think it's
majorly.
got 4.
It's more than that.
I think it's 4.
All right, since Joseph's gonna be
4
a
or
little
5.
hold on, freaking. Let me fact check.
It's
JMash
5.
97 here.
It's 5. I think it ran from 2008 to 2012. I think
13.
13.
So 5. I guess just a bit closer. I don't care. 5
It doesn't
seasons.
really
So
matter.
that proves my point even more. Just within that short time frame, people are changing so drastically. Not only in appearance, but just how they behave and their morals. It's crazy. I think, for me personally, the person I root for the most is Jesse. I think he's the most relatable one, and the one you just want to see win. He's more of an underdog. Walter, not so much. Walter's like a butthole, and even though he's the main character, and it's really interesting to see his story unfold, you don't really want the guy to win. But the best thing I think about the show also is it knows when to end, and it has ended on a good note. And that's my argument against The Walking Dead. After, how about we do it like this? After you give your whole Walking Dead thing, I'll say things I don't like about Walking Dead, and then you give things you don't like about Breaking Bad.
So that's your little opening.
Yeah.
God, this is a court case. That was the longest opening argument I've ever heard in my entire life.
Well, it's an argument.
Okay.
My
So here's the
defendant
thing.
is not guilty.
Alright, so here's the thing. Walking Dead has gotten a bad rep in the past for being filler and long and not knowing when to stop and just too many episodes to cram so little material in. Especially with this past season, season 7. I did a whole 14, 15-minute rant about Walking Dead, people who think Walking Dead is filler. That especially goes for you, Noah.
I've seen it.
Walking Dead is not filler. There's never been a filler episode. In that rant, I took 4 of the common episodes that people complain about being filler. The Steel, the Daryl and Beth standalone, the solo episode, the Daryl and Beth episode in season 4, if I can remember all the episodes, Always Accountable, the one in season 6, episode 6, with Daryl meeting Dwight, the season 6 finale, that cliffhanger that ticked a lot of people off, including me, and season 7, episode 6, the Tara episode, when she went to Oceanside. Those 4 episodes, and quite a bit of others, season 2, the entire season 2, gets a bad rep for just stretching out the material and just what's the word?
Filler.
That's not what I was looking for. It's like dragging it out just for the sake of having more episodes.
That's filler. That's exactly what filler is.
Yeah, it is. But I was looking for something else because there was just another word that came to mind, but I couldn't. It just wouldn't come out. But everything in season 2, everything in those 4 episodes I named off, are building up to something a lot later on down the road. The Steel episode, the Daryl and Beth episode, was building up their relationship for the terminus. Um, the hospital storyline, the always accountable, the Daryl and Dwight, and Daryl meeting Dwight, that set up their rivalry, that set up the Saviors, that set up Dwight and Sherry's relationship, which will be a lot more vital down the line. The Tara solo episode where she met Oceanside. Oceanside is coming to help Rick and this company to fight the Saviors. The season 6 finale, the cliffhanger that ticked a lot of people off, including me. I did a rant on that just when the day after it aired. But that built up to the season 7 finale, season 7 premiere. It paid off. The season 6 episode was great. If it wasn't for that cliffhanger, people wouldn't call it as bad as what people have been calling it. I truly believe that when this show
do you think they could have cut to the chase more? Like, maybe it's not exactly filler, but maybe they could have avoided that. Maybe they wanted to actually drag it on for an extra episode. Do you think they could have cut right to it, or do you think that the suspense buildup had a purpose?
Hold that thought. Because I'm about to finish my opening thing. I got one last thing to say, but just hold that thought. But I truly believe that once this show is all said and done, and when people watch this whole entire series like that, just binge watching the entire series and realizing that every single scene is setting up something further down the line, this show will be remembered as one of the greatest shows of all time.
I'm not denying that.
From the writing and the acting especially with this last season. Andrew Lincoln and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, everybody was fantastic this past season.
Hey, you remember when we sort of met Herschel?
I did.
I sort of did too. I saw him in person.
I asked him a question. You just sat in the back.
I texted him a question.
You got his phone number?
I said, "Why are you so old?" Dude, I should have asked that. I should have went up to the panel.
And then he gets mad at you and just tells the security to escort you out.
He turns into a zombie. I know. What I would have asked was I thought you got your head chopped off. Why are you still here? Are you a ghost or a zombo? I'm very confused why you're here physically. Anyway, back to my question. I was asking with those episodes, you think they drugged this up on purpose to create suspense, or do you think they could have just cut to the chase quicker and maybe that episode wasn't needed? Not necessarily filler, but maybe it just wasn't necessary.
I will say that they probably could have, and like I said at the beginning of this little video, there was going to be spoilers, so spoilers. I do think that they could have given away Abraham's death in the finale and did Glenn's death in the premiere. But I honestly don't care anymore, to be honest with you. I mean, the episode was basically a suspenseful thriller. I mean, and then again, I heard somebody one of the producers, or Scott Gimple, say, I think it was Scott Gimple, but it was one of them, that said that if they would have shown who had died in that cliffhanger, nobody would be talking about Negan. Everybody would be talking about whoever was on the other side of Lucille.
So
I mean,
basically, it was to build suspense. Like they wanted people talking. They wanted a big view rate on their first episode of the season.
looking back and why understanding why they did what they did, I get it. Comic readers knew that this moment was coming for, I believe, 4 years, roughly, before it got adapted into the show. So the comic readers were debating who would get Lucille for however long that wait was. And I get why they did what they did. One reason because they wanted the people who only watch the show and don't read the comics, who didn't know who Negan was, to get them into the predictions of who was on the other side of Lucille.
Well, without getting too deep into it, list more reasons why you like this show.
Why I like Walking Dead?
Yeah.
I just really talked about one of the main problems people have with it and say it's why it's not that bad. But it takes for, I know people who don't like horror movies or TV shows or whatever. I know people who don't like violence and gore. I know people who don't like any of that other stuff that they have in there, but they love Walking Dead because Walking Dead is not about the zombies or walkers. It's about the people. It's always been about the people since season 1. Season 1 was maybe half and half zombies and people, but for the most part, in the first couple episodes, it was about zombies. But I think in episode 3, or 4, Vatos, whichever episode number that was, I think it was 3. When they started getting into that Mexican gang, that's when it started going off into being about more people than it was about the zombies. It's always
kind of the human aspect of staying alive, dominance.
What would you do to protect the ones you love? What would you do in order to survive? Because you look at everybody, how they first started to how they are now, or at the time of their death, nobody is the same. Everybody had evolved for the most part. Maybe there's a couple that didn't evolve, but that's because they really didn't last long or didn't get that much screen time. But
Survival.
Probably I'd say the one that had the most growth is Carol, from being this beaten and abused and shy and timid and quiet housewife to essentially a female Rambo.
Hey, when the time comes, and you have that fight or flight instinct.
Nobody had seen her becoming the character she is right now. No, I don't think anybody saw that coming. She's probably the best change from the comic to the TV show, because the character in the comic was not that great. But I mean, everything about the show I love. The makeup artist,
Yeah, the makeup is good.
fantastic. Greg Nicotero and his team, fantastic. I mean, the acting, the writing, everything about this show I love. Are there slow moments? Of course, every show has its slow moments. Not all shows are going to be
Hey,
the what
Dexter has a lot.
slow moments.
Yeah,
Like I said,
when it
I
kicks
haven't
in,
seen
it's
it.
good.
I
But
still haven't seen Dexter, so I mean,
yeah,
I can't really say anything.
I know. I was telling you for the future.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, like I said, every slow moment in The Walking Dead pays off. I
Yup.
mean, look at the 4 episodes I named. Look at season 2.
Is that
Webster,
all you have to say about Walking Dead?
huh?
Is that your argument?
Yeah, that's my
Your
opening.
opening? Okay, so I will. What I like. Okay, well, I'll give my what I like about Walking Dead. I like Walking Dead for some of the reasons Joseph stated. Is great makeup. Can't deny that. It's really cool that some of the show was shot in Atlanta, which I've been to. So that's cool. I like that. The characters
It's
are
only
great.
shot in Georgia,
It's always shot in Georgia. That's even cooler.
the entire
Uh,
show.
Nice. So I mean, that's a plus for me. I always like kind of hometown, not hometown, but
Home
close
state.
to home stuff. Yeah. But like Zombieland. But
Zombieland shot in Georgia?
one scene was shot in Valdosta. If not all the movie, I know at least some of the scenes
What
were shot in
scene?
Valdosta. Uh, when they're at the roller coasters, the theme park.
Really?
Yeah. You might have to fact check me on that, but that's what I remember.
Hmm. I didn't know
Anyway,
that. Okay.
what was I saying? Oh yeah, great makeup, great characters. Even though some I could do without.
Like who?
Rick. I don't really like Michonne. Is that her name?
The samurai girl?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what don't you like about her? Then again, you stopped in season 3. She's
Yeah.
gotten better since then.
Really?
Yeah.
I may like, but I don't know.
Because in season 3, she was like a just a loner kind of character.
Yeah, it seems too contrived. Like nobody would actually act like that in the zombie apocalypse.
Because
But
in season 4, she got close to Carl and Judith and Rick and everybody else.
Like to season 3's stopping point, I didn't like Michonne. What else do I like about Walking Dead? Zombies are cool. I like zombies, but I don't think I have much to say. It's a good show, but personally, I'm not like, I love it kind of thing. It's just a show to me. But now you give your argument what you like about Breaking Bad that you've seen thus far.
I mean, me and Noah are pretty much evenly knowledgeable, I guess, about the other's show. I mean, Noah has seen 3 seasons and I've only seen 2, so that I'm going off of. I didn't. I know I'm gonna get hate for these little comments I'm about to make. Rest in peace, Joseph. I didn't really care for Walter White, the character. The
Makes sense.
I'm blanking on his name. Don't tell me. Mother fricker, what's his name?
5 seconds. 5.
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
he was great. I'm not saying he did a bad job or anything, but the character of Walter White.
I think most people agree with you on that. Like, nobody really loves Walter.
I mean,
He's
then
just-
again, this show has been hyped up for me for years before I finally watched it. So maybe my expectations were too high. Don't know.
Possibly.
But the character of Walter White, I don't love as much as everybody else on the internet claims they do. Jesse, as Noah said, is by far the only character that I legitimately love. The Hank
Aaron.
Hank is a close second. Everybody else, eh. Saul was good from the stuff that I've seen of his. Then again, he was only in for the second season for what, half the length.
Yeah, that's when they're just introducing.
Yeah, I knew he became like a bigger character in the later seasons, and he got his own spinoff and everything. But
Yeah.
uh,
You haven't met Mike yet. Mike's a good character.
who?
Mike, he's like in season 3.
I mean, just the first season, I will say, is near perfection. The second season, some episodes are great, some
Not so great.
no. I mean, I don't know if that's like a general consensus that seasons 2 is not really like a throwaway season, but like just like an okay season.
It's kind of introducing some new things to the mix.
Okay. So it's just introducing the storylines for future seasons.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So maybe that's why I didn't really care for the second season anymore. I mean, that's really all that I could think of. I mean, the acting, the writing, and all that other stuff is great, but just some of the episodes and some of the storylines and some of the characters.
I can see that. Okay,
It
so let me
just-
tell you some reasons why I hate's a strong word. Some reasons why I dislike The Walking Dead. And then you can say what you dislike about, even though you sort of
already
stated some. Huh?
I did both the things that I like and things I dislike about it. Breaking Bad.
What I guess what I don't like about it, there's nothing really to dislike. It's just a matter of personal preference. It's a good show, but it just doesn't click with me like it does to, say, Joseph or my family members. I don't know. There's just something about it. I can't really put my finger on it.
Is it the storylines or just?
That's what I'm saying. I can't put my finger on it. Like, it's just an aura about it. I don't know. But looks like with that final statement, I think this concludes the video.
Unless you can think of something else.
I guess my closing argument is both shows are good shows, but I just personally prefer Breaking Bad. Although that could change if I watch more Walking Dead, but as of now, I'm on Breaking Bad side. What about you? What's your closing
I mean, mine
statement?
is pretty similar to yours. I mean, I'm not disputing that neither one of these are. I'm not disputing that Breaking Bad is a good show. I'm not saying that it's a bad show or anything like that, but me personally, as as of today, I love Walking Dead more. Maybe that'll change, or not really change, but I mean, maybe I'll like Breaking Bad more once I watch the third, fourth, and fifth season. Maybe. Who knows? But as of today, Team Walking Dead.
I have no Breaking Bad posters.
Yeah. So I'm the winner.
You're not the winner. The first comment unrelated to us wins. Tell us who wins. Say it's me, okay? I need this for my ego, okay?
Let us know who you think won the argument and which show do you prefer. Hey, what is up, guys? Joseph here, and today is going to be a little bit different.
It wasn't much of a debate, but it was still fun to film. But I'm excited for our upcoming episodes about new shows that we're gonna watch. I won't say, but we'll be doing reviews on that together, which I think will be much of a more interesting discussion than this. But we'll have some more upcoming versus videos, and if you have any suggestions, let Joseph know. I think I've rambled on.
But yeah, as Noah said, if you got any suggestions of future versus videos, let us know in the comments below. As Noah also said, we're planning on doing a new series. Don't know when we're going to start, but the new series is going to be taking shows. I think the first one we agreed on was Dexter. Will be our first one.
Yes.
Okay. Dexter will be our first one where we'll binge watch an entire season and just review it season by season until we get finished. And how many seasons are there in Dexter?
Let me check real quick. So on the top of my head, I'd say like eight seasons.
Okay. But until we get finished with the entire series, we'll just do that maybe every week. I'm not really going to promise anything, but just like a rough...
Eight seasons.
8 seasons? Okay.
That was spot on.
But, look forward to that. I'm not saying when it's going to start, but it's coming soon. Yeah, I'll just say that. But, you got anything else you want to say, Noah?
Nope, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, I'll leave the link in the description below so you can go check out Noah's channel. As always, if you enjoy this video, hit that like button. If you enjoy this video, also hit that subscribe button. I've got brand new videos like versus videos, those TV show reviews, reactions, top 10s coming soon, rants, so many other video types. I got podcasts with Noah and Darius from ScooterTube also. As always, like me on Facebook at JimAsh97, follow me on Twitter at JimAsh97, links in the description below. Mash out.